Hi, I'm Julia. I'm one of the co-founders of Social Developers Club, and we do regular meetups. Who of you has been to one of our meetups before? Okay, nice. Most of you, that's cool. But I'll tell you anyways what we do. We are an inclusive, not exclusive, a tech community beyond code, like today also with low code, for example. And we're trying to make technology accessible to all, but mainly the main part of the community is already developers, but we still always want to be inclusive and also combine all technologies and make the entrance into other fields easy. We do this by conferences, also workshops and meetups like tonight. Usually we do meetups once a month, sometimes twice a month, but we're just kicking off the year today. And then next month, we'll have our big community conference. That's like, I'm standing in front of the QR code. That's like our main event of the year. But we limit it to 300 people, so be quick. But usually, right now, you still get tickets. And I forgot to include a promo code, but if you remember Meetup 30, you get 30% off, and then the ticket is only 14 euros. It's a whole event, a whole day full of talks. We have 2 stages, a creative stage and a technology stage. And I think 8 workshops over the whole day. So you can, for example, hack routers, or also a workshop with Zoho, build more Zoho code, and all different kind of stuff. And also if you have kids, you can bring them as well, because we also have a kids track. So the new generation of developers can also be there. More promotions. We have a WhatsApp channel now. We're just trying this out, but if you want to get all the news, also scan this code. Also, if someone wants to be a WhatsApp community admin, let me know, because we don't have a lot of experience. But this is actually our only rule for all of our events. Who knows Pac-Man? Okay, who already knows our Pac-Man rule? Okay, then you can explain to the others later. No, the thing is, we probably later stand around in a circle and talk to each other and get to know each other. And while doing this, please always make sure to leave an open space, like the Pac-Man mouth. So anytime anyone can join your little circle and make the entrance to your group easier. All right. We're taking pictures. There's also a live stream behind you running. So if you cross this area, you'll probably be on the live stream and later on YouTube. And I will take some pictures as well. If you don't want to be on the pictures, I have those stickers here. I just leave them on the table to your right. And you can just place them somewhere where I can see it, and then we'll make sure to not publish pictures with you or not. And if you miss to scan any of the other QR codes, we have all our links also on our link tree. This is also linked in our Instagram account. And that's from me. Now we're coming to the main topic, and now we just give, not the mic actually, but to Pratik. Please welcome him on stage.
Coming here.
Hello everyone, I hope you can hear me well. Is the voice okay? Or do I need some hot water? No, right? I'm good. Cool. So firstly, thanks Julia for having us, and it's great to be here in Hamburg. My name is Pratik, like Julia just mentioned. I come from the Essen office. So Zoho has an office here in Germany, and I'm based in Essen. And my colleague Padma is here as well. So basically, she is one of the creative geniuses. She understands both business side of things and also the technical side of things quite well. So you can of course pick our brains after our session, and we'll be more than happy to chat after our short talk. So quick show of hands, how many of you guys have heard of Zoho or have used Zoho in the past? Okay, roughly 40-50% of the audience. Okay, nice. Cool. On that note, we'll quickly get started with a short introduction about Zoho itself, and then we will, kind of deep dive into our topic. Zoho has been in existence for roughly 28 years now, and we have like a host of services. We are a B2B software company, and we are present in almost 150 countries, and a fairly large company, right? Like we are 15,000 employees and still growing. We have the responsibility of taking care of 100 million plus users on Zoho. And these are basically users, active users from these 850,000 businesses worldwide. So basically, what is something that has helped us grow in the last few years is this concept called transnational localism. It's a philosophy by our leadership team, which basically means that we want to grow across the world while still being deeply rooted in each culture. And what does this actually mean in reality, right? It basically means we want to serve the customers through our ecosystem of partners, our local employees. So for example, our German office has majority German colleagues. Our Spanish office has majority of them as Spanish colleagues. So these small things are very important and would take us a long way to connect with the local community and also empathize with the audience respectively in each region. So Zoho is present globally. As you can see on the map, we have a fairly large presence. So the blue dots are our local offices across the world. And as of July or August last year, we have like 16 data centers across the world. And in Europe, we have one in Dublin and Utrecht, Amsterdam rather. That's where our EU data centers are based. And of course, some places have both our office and data centers as well. So what is actually unique about Zoho, right? Zoho believes in building and not acquiring. For example, most of these SaaS players take a lot of venture capital, take a lot of debt to acquire smaller companies. But we, on the other hand, when we see a problem or a demand in the market, we would rather build it ourselves and grow organically. So we have been cash flow positive throughout and have constantly invested our cash into R&D. And these are some of the calls that we were able to take, the leadership team was able to take because we are private. And Zoho is private and we will forever be private. We are never going to go public. We are not going to raise any debt. We are profitable since the start. And that helps us take a lot of bold initiatives. So, for example, we recently collaborated with NVIDIA to acquire their hardware. And it was also in the news that we invested upwards of $10 million to build our own LLM models. Cool. So the responsibility of these 100 million users is fairly large. And of course, our promise to them is security and compliance. And how do we do this? We manage and own our own data centers. So your data is secure and with you, end-to-end encrypted. And all we do is we just host it for you. And of course, with every new launch, every new product update that comes up, we are taking care of all the compliance like GDPR, which is quite important here in EU especially. And of course, HIPAA compliance is more on the healthcare side of things to manage personal data. So that's it about Zoho. Now let's talk about a few facts. We recently conducted a survey with CIO magazine, and we found out that 57% of companies have not identified all the applications that they've deployed. Now, this might sound pretty weird to most of you guys, right? It also sounded to us. So there's this concept called shadow IT. You can Google it. And what it basically means is IT leaders like CTOs, head of technology at various companies across enterprises don't entirely have visibility of all the IT tools used by every department. So imagine if there are 10,000 employees in a large manufacturing company or a large logistics company, right? There are so many decision makers at a team level who would want to deploy their own product. So what basically tends to happen is, instead of being a SaaS, like a software as a service, it becomes like a spaghetti as a service, where people are clueless about what are we actually managing, right? For example, the IT team would want to take control of all the apps used by every team. Someone might use some service for internal collaboration, like for chatting. I'm not going to use names of these services, but you guys know. There might be another app for conducting a survey at a meetup like this. There might be another tool for, let's say, storing your files. So there are actually a host of different problems that tend to happen. And our solution for this is building a unified suite. So Zoho basically has 55 different services which caters to every aspect of a business. So far, we've been catering to businesses of all sizes. We started off small with the startups and SMBs, and now we are slowly moving to the enterprise segment. And as you can see, we cater to sales, finance, legal, marketing, analytics, you name it. All these apps are a part of a single subscription that you can get with Zoho One. That's our solution that we offer. And another problem that, a development that has recently happened is everyone knows about ChatGPT. It has been there for roughly 2.5 years now. Gartner conducted a survey where they found out that 92% of CIOs would want to implement AI in some way or form. Now, if you join the dots, the fact that I just mentioned earlier that IT teams don't have entire visibility of all the applications. Now think about the mess that it's going to create when you start implementing AI and the tool actually doesn't talk to each other. So what I mean by this is you need like a unified suite of applications with AI embedded in them, so that you have like a more context-aware application. And what I mean by that will be more clear when Padma comes up with her live demonstration in the upcoming session. So to solve this problem, we have Zia. Zia is Zoho's own AI. And Zia has been there for roughly 10 years now. It was first launched in 2015. And it has evolved quite a bit. So it started off as a AI, a proactive AI assistant, to then generative, to now moving into the world of agentic AI. How many of you have heard of agentic AI? AI agents. So you can actually Google it. It's the thing for 2025, and a lot of businesses are investing billions of dollars into this space. And how are we actually implementing Zia? So it is basically, there are a lot of use case of Zia inside of Zoho's applications. So for example, if you search for a certain keyword, it will pick up this keyword. Like for example, if you're, let's say, a small business owner, right? And if you have, let's say, a customer with a certain name, it will pick up all the instances where you have spoken about that customer across your service tickets, your email campaigns, your CRM. So all of that is in a single place. Then we have another example called Ask Zia. And this is quite interesting where, with just a click of a button, you can see Zia Insights. There's a small button on the top right. You can basically generate insights about your sales data. So these are small use cases, and it can basically split and show you what is the year-on-year performance of a certain region. So every sales team would want to actually look at their revenues and how things are progressing for their business. So, of course, as a B2B software company, our promise is to constantly upgrade our tools, and we are doing this through heavy investment into R&D and improving our AI models. So the future of AI will require a lot of context-aware software, and of course, you need interconnected systems to be able to cater to this, right? With that, I will leave the stage for Padma's session, where she will talk about the synergy of AI and low-code, and how low-code solutions are actually getting smarter, especially in the context of Zoho Creator, which is one of our offering. And yeah, these are some of the brands that trust Zoho. Thanks, and over to Padma.
So good evening. I'm Padma. I am actually the solutions engineer. I used to work more with the creator as a product, low code, because I like development and that was my skill. And slowly, I'm just seeing the better part of other solutions, since we have 55 plus apps, which you would have seen here in one of the slides. Yeah, here. Sorry. This one. So I was more interested to know what the other applications were up to. It's like an out of the box solution that they are providing. When it comes to marketing, what are the out of the box solutions? And when it comes to business process, that's where our development strength is, where we build our out of the box solution. And that was my area of focus. And what you see here is the low-code application platform, the Creator, which we call it as a Zoho Creator. And when you actually, how many of you know what exactly a low-code application platform is? What is your point of view as a developer when you look at a low-code application platform? What you need to do, what you need not care about when it is a low-code application platform?
Syntax, implementation, tech details.
Syntax?
That's my assumption.
Okay. More? Generally, when you have a developer, yeah, please.
No-code applications could have a limited number of options when implementing certain things that one can do more elaborately or extensively with custom code.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, WordPress, there would be some limited options that you can apply to WordPress while making the website.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, making the same website with a lot more customization through coding, for example, with a language like JavaScript or some framework like React.
Okay. Why do people prefer low code over a traditional development or programming? Why?
I would disagree. I would say that the developers prefer code in comparison to no.
Yeah, pro coding is necessary, but in kind of a mid-sized business, people say it's better to invest on low code than traditional. Why is the speed there?
Because you have prefabricated elements that you can just use and build it up. The problem comes later if you need customization, but at the beginning it really makes you go really fast.
Okay, so you mean to say there are multiple encapsulation layers, like I don't need to worry about the infrastructure. I don't need to worry about in the sense, when I say infrastructure, I don't need to worry about the operating system. I don't need to worry about an IT team who needs to be there. Or I don't need a separate team who is doing only the development, a separate team who only focuses only on the business. So it's like all can work in a collaborated manner in a single platform, just not bothering about the underlying network problems. You just need a very good Wi-Fi, like internet connectivity, and with very little knowledge on develop programming, yes, because that would actually help you quickly build the application, because you need to have the core knowledge of having the data structures, because these are something that we need to be aware of. But even that is taken care by the upcoming app assemblers or developers, which is where what I will be showing you of what we have as the Zoho Creator as a low-code application platform. So, let me take you to where we were, how we started our journey. It was like a mere drag and drop tool, because we all know, many of you would have used Visual Basic, Power Builder. These are all age-old tools. Yes, there are even right now Microsoft Power Apps. Yes, you would be using it already. So with all the tools we saw, a drag and drop and some kind of coding or development happening behind those components. As I drag and drop, I can see something behind as a written as a skeleton. So you can just go and fill up your business logic alone to get going. So then we thought, okay, we need to sync up with how the world is advancing. We can't just stick to the drag and drop all the time. Because just drag and drop alone doesn't help, because we need to know how to do the coding in order to make it more better. Then we thought about why not have something called smart assembler. This might be this might be not what you have seen with other apps, but we thought through the process of having some kind of standard algorithm written within our own framework, which is readily available, so that when I have, say, an Excel file, because most of us deal with Excel files nowadays, the data is in Excel file, everything is linked, related, one sheet is related to the other sheet, and I want an application out of that Excel file with the data in the application. It's not just the application, I want the data. So that I can go ahead and either use the application directly, put it into production, or customize it further to make it even more efficient with the existing data. Which is when we actually thought through a concept called the smart assembler or the app assembler. So there is a standard algorithm that is written inside, it's available inside the framework. As we feed in the sheets or the Microsoft Access data or the ODB files, any kind of numbers, dot numbers, all kinds of supports we have. And when you feed in that into our framework, we do have an interface where it will automatically map it to the creator recognizable components. When I say components, it could be forms, it could be reports, it could be pages. So in few clicks, I will get the entire application ready. I don't need to do a drag and drop. That is when we thought that could help, because a lot of customers came out with a question, why, when we have a legacy system, we have a data which is 40, 50 years of data. We just want to convert, we want to migrate from a legacy system into a SaaS, out of the box solution. How do we do that? So which is when we thought through this smart assembler concept. Then that left apart, ChatGPT came, and I can see it already in the younger generation, especially my daughter. She says, learning from ChatGPT is better than learning from a teacher. I was pretty surprised. I said, why? How? She says, yeah, it is giving me all possibilities of the question that I ask. When I ask a question in physics, it is giving me 10 possibilities to solve a problem. But the teacher solves only in his or her own way. I said, yeah, but there could be more for the teacher who will try to come and teach to you, make you understand the way you want it. No, she says, not like that. It's a very fast world. I want an answer today. I want an assignment to be submitted tomorrow. How do I do that? So they say ChatGPT is my teacher. So they spend most of the time with the ChatGPT, which is when we also need to become more smarter, right? We can't still remain with we need this. This is going to be a helping hand all the time. But above this, we need to have one more layer called the AI, which is when we started, from 2023 onwards, we started focusing on the LLMs. We did have the machine language, deep learning, all parts of subsets of AI was focused on, but eventually we ended up using the LLMs. So that means OpenAI came. It is still a big hit. Yeah, we can do wonders with OpenAI, no doubt about it. At the same time, there are challenges also with OpenAI. I think that is also getting addressed. It's not that we can't always say there is a challenge and push it aside. There is a way where you can also handle it, for which we thought through our own LLM, which we call it as Gen AI, where you can see that we would be camouflaging something what OpenAI is doing, but it is more to do with the data structure alone, metadata. We don't really deal with the sensitive data, but we take the metadata. The AI part works on the metadata, and that helps to build the application. So what we used to do as a drag and drop, we started doing it with mere prompts and instructions. And say, for example, normally you just scribble a flow. A customer talks about a use case, and as a developer or a architect, solution architect, I will start scribbling something on my paper. And that paper, I'll take a photo of it and upload it into our interface, and that is going to build an application for you. So that is what today's world is, and that capability we have bought in Creator. So that is the introduction, which most of my demo will be based on that. So it's the drag and drop interface will look like this. Any tool that you see, you have these components available. You can set the properties a normal way, the way you want it, a customized way you want the form to look like. This is what I was talking about, the smart assembler. That is, you have the data in the form of Excel file or MDB or ODB or CSV. Bring it to our interface. You will see in few clicks this application. That is 5-10 minutes. Good enough. If you know exactly what component to map to the data, if it has not been mapped automatically, then you get a solution or a SaaS or an out-of-the-box solution in few clicks. So this is the smart assembler or the app assembler I was mentioning about. And then comes, these are some of the AI features which I'll be showing you today as a demo. How we can just give few lines of your requirement, or you can upload your requirement document itself. It can be any number of pages. And there is a size, like 10 MB is the size that we provide. And maybe you can upload a flow diagram in the form of an image. It will recognize what that flow diagram is, and it will give you an application. Another example is if you have a menu card of a restaurant, right? You upload the menu card, it will build one app for you. Like what can be the base or foundation application that it would look like for a restaurant-based business. And say you provide a URL, because in most of the cases what happen, we go to customer's place. We go and we have discussion and they say, see, I just wanted to build an automation or an application and this is our website. So all our requirement is there in the website. It might not have the data, but a structure of what that website could be. So one example which I've taken is the NS. NS is a travel website in Netherlands. So I randomly picked this. I just want to know whether it is actually giving me an application which is a transport based or something else. Yeah, for my surprise, I did see something of transport based. And the next interesting thing, actually I was much interested, was this mobile app creation. What happens is with the mobile app, initially what we had was you build the application with Creator. Could be drag and drop or a smart assembler, however you call it. But you need to download a mobile app, and then you can install it from a Play Store or a App Store, however way you want it, and we use it. But say, for example, you are in an event and you feel like you need to quickly build a smart application over there and start using that application, say for lead nurturing. I don't have any app. I have a lot of people around me. I want the information to be registered. So what I just do with my mobile, on the spot I create an application. I'll be showing you the demo of that as well. I'll say lead nurturing or lead generation. It creates an app and it is up and running. So you keep feeding in the data. So you're actually not having somebody sitting aside and building that for you. So, or you don't need to plan already before coming to the event. It's okay. Something on the spot, you can still get it done. You can think of ways how it can be used. So these are a new AI generated or AI features which we have actually adapted in our existing low-code application platform. So this is what will be our core focus, but I would also like to show you some of the way we evolved using our product. So this is how our platform looks like. As you log into your account, say Zoho Creator account, this is where you will land, and this is called the dashboard page of your account, and all our solutions will remain here. So you can have n number of solutions in a particular account. So I have a sample account here, sample application that has been created. Then you can actually create solution as a SaaS or as analytics, BI analytics. That is, you have a data in Creator, you want a beautiful dashboard with reports, with all the data that is available in Creator. And as an integration where you can integrate to 700 plus apps. It includes Zoho related apps or even third party apps. For example, you have some accounting software like Exact, you want to connect to Exact, or you want to connect to QuickBooks. You can all do it in a few clicks with a few authentication, and you just drag and drop the fields, and the data just goes on as you trigger the event from Creator. So these are broadly the three ways of solutions that you can think about when you use Creator as a low-code platform. And as you click on this, you can see various options. Whether you want to import it from a file. I was talking to you about this app assembler or the smart. That I'll be showing you one example. So we can do it through this, or say in some other account, I have an application. I want to bring that application. It is built in a very complex way with so many components and customizations done. That file, we call it as a .ds file. Just install it inside this account, and that application is readily available for you to use. That is one other way to import an application into your account. Then we do have some templates where you can have some base application as a template and work on it later, however way you want it. So like you have options, like we have categorized into different categories, whether it's based on IT or business or sales and marketing. So what is the purpose for which you want to build an application? We do have a template, set of templates for that. So you can pick a template, install it in your account, and then customize it for further use. So this is another way to build an application. And the one that I was talking to you about, building from scratch, right? Drag and drop. This is called building from scratch. And we have a feature called environment. So any guess what it could be? As a developer, on Clues as a developer, what could that be? You could have had so many questions in your mind as a developer already. Because what I'm saying, I'm building a solution, putting into production, customer is using. And I have curious developers who always keep tampering the solution. That's a clue.
Is that a dynamic prompt?
Two?
Is that just the application name? Or
No,
does it
no.
just dynamically from the keywords?
No. It is some more. Some more to do with the... Okay, you would have come across GitHub, configuration management, VSS, all that concepts, right? So that means we need to really have an environment for development, environment for testing, and environment for production. So that way, we take care of the customers or the end users using the right version or the right application or use case. Instead of having a bug environment, he will work on the production environment, which is bug free. That means it would have gone through n number of testing. So the development, there will be a separate phase called development. That is what we called as environment. That means when I say I want to create an application and enable an environment, that means it will start with the developers or development phase only. So it will be the developers who will be working on it, and after a review or testing, they will publish it to a phase called a stage, which is a testing phase, where you test all the test cases that you wanted to, and finally move it to production, which is when the customers can use. So though we say the low code is an encapsulation of multiple layers, we are free from all that, still we need to take care of this part. Because because we are inviting the citizen developers to come and build solution. So in that case, you need to know what kind of background they have to build this solution, right? They can build the way they like it, but that is not what the customer wants. So we should see to it that that also is moved through a process or phase, and it reaches the customer the solution that exactly he wants it. So this is about drag and drop. And the one that you see on the top is the most interesting, and I really liked where it is getting evolved today, where it is today. Because initially, what you do is, normally you can prompt something. You can just type something, build an application, or build a vendor management application or something like that. And then it will, the ZIA or the ZIA, which you had learned about in the previous session, that it will start picking up the use cases. It'll ask for more and more use cases. It'll generally take the use case, and then it'll ask for more custom use cases. Based on that, it will build a complete solution for you. Say, for example, I have one quick thing which I wanted to show you. Say, I just want to do this and say start building. So what it does is, with whatever information you have given as a text, right, it will show all the possible use cases. And it has done, these are the use cases that it can, as a first level, it has generated. You can generate more. Or you can add your own custom also. Maybe if you feel like, okay, the number of use cases it has generated is not in-depth, I still want some other thing to be achieved. You can add your use case. As you add your use case, it will regenerate your right side data model. Entire data model will be regenerated. And you can also notice one thing on the top. This is another Zoho product called Recruit. The purpose of the Zoho product Recruit is to handle the candidates who come for interview. So the purpose of that product, it's an out-of-the-box solution meant for managing the candidates for interviews. So what has happened is, since my prompt was something to do with onboarding the recruited candidates, that means it has gone through the process of recruitment. So the word has recognized its connection with the product called Recruit. So an integration is already done with one of the product called Recruit. And based on that, it will also build all the kind of relationship that it has set, the interlink between one form, the other form, one module, one entity and the other entity. So the entire thing is now ready, and you just say create application. So first thing it will do is create all the components. So when I say components, it is the form, it is the report, it is the page. These are the three major components. So first it will set up the component. See, it would have done the reports, it is done with the dashboards, then application layout. When I say application layout, it is the theme, the color, the way I want the entire application to look like. Where should the menu be, whether it's on the top or on the left. So that kind of suggestion also AI gives. And finally, you can see user permissions. That is, from the prompt that I gave, it assumes that these are all the users of the application and created permission sets for those users based on the components that has been added. And finally, you have a workflow automation also. In some places, you need some notifications to be sent, some kind of validations to be done. All that is done by AI, the LLM, which is taking care of everything. So it has given you a base application, now it is ready. So when you just go and say access, this shows that there is some kind of integration happened with another product apart from Creator. I'm just closing it for now. So this is the kind of a dashboard that it has built with some kind of dummy data in it. So it has on the AI, what it does is the metadata part. It only focuses on converting your prompt to a metadata and building your entire application with the metadata, and over it, it will have some sample data to show you a dashboard. Yeah? And you can see from here, one more thing is that the kind of reports that it is generating. So you all know about the Kanban type of report, right? Based on the pick list, the status. So it has created a Kanban report by default. Then when you take employee information, it will have an address field. When it has an address field, you would want to see a map report, not a normal list report. You can see that it has already plotted based on the address sample data that has gone in. Then these are the app references. That is the connection that it has created. So you can see a ready-made application, a foundation which is ready for you. So it just took 5 minutes to show you how it was built. So also, you can, it is not just with that one-liner, you can upload, as I was telling you earlier, you can upload the reference, this one, what is the requirement document. Say for example, you have an option called upload. And here, say I have one RFP. I just randomly downloaded this RFP. So it has read through the content inside the RFP, created the use cases, and it is slowly building the application with whatever use cases available. And it will just create it as it is. The same way, it will recognize the components, and it will then do the workflows, then it will do the blueprints, everything, all kind of automation will be up and running for you with the users also who have to be using the system. So this is one way where you can see you just upload an RFP and you get your application, validate it. So these things would be very easy when you go to a customer's place, right? They say, this is my RFP. You don't need a back and forth discussion. Okay, you send me the RFP, let me read it. There will be a way we interpret it. We might not interpret it fully. We will start building an application with the kind of interpretation that we have. But the customer, when he sees, he'll say, no, sorry, I asked for apple, you gave banana. Then we'll come back again, read through the requirement. Okay, let's analyze it, whether it is right. So at least when that requirement document is fed inside our interface in front of the customer and we show them this is the application, he can quickly put his hand into it and say, oh yeah, I think this is okay. Or he will say, no, sorry, this is not okay. Maybe some customization is necessary. The feedback would be immediate. We don't need the back and forth email communication, calls, time spent by the developers, making the developer understand. And also, one more thing, advantage of this I would think of is when it comes to cloud technology, right? Normally, developers don't work in the same office. That is what I've understood from my partners. The partner company is in Belgium. They have outsourced developers in Africa. So people who are working in Africa, they know only what they see in their country. So what happened was one small use case, very interesting thing which he said was, they were building a construction-based solution. Like whenever there is 20-story or a long number of story building, they wanted to work on some automation on it. So they said that, okay, you can have building of any number of levels. But for people there in Madagascar, they've never seen building beyond 25. And the developer there automatically put his own validation saying, if beyond 25, stop processing or stop the process, throw an error. And when the customer, when it went to the production, they did not see it. The customer was shocked because he had building which was 40 and every process stopped with 25. And it took a long time for them to debug and find out why even that happened. So all this, when you are working across geography, and if you wanted to meet some requirement, exactly, or to show the customer that yes, you can build an application with the requirement that you have, to start with having this AI feature and implementing it right in front of his face will give a trust of seeing, yeah, this is the solution. And also for the developers in different geography can understand it has to work only this way. When they see it live, they understand. So that way, this actually helps. So this is one example which I took from the real estate management. It just built an application with the RFP that I just uploaded. So this is one of the kind. And the other one is, say, I want to upload. I was talking to you about the flow chart, right? The flow chart thing which we have. Let me show you. Yeah. So this is the flow chart, and this flow chart is going to be converted into a application. So it's an asset management. So I just uploaded the flow chart, and it is going to build an application from this. So it has understood what is the flow, what all possible. Yeah. This is the last one more. With that, will be coming to an end. So your basic application asset management is ready, you could have added more custom use cases, and that would consider it, regenerate the entire process, and you have the application up and running. And I was, one last thing which I wanted to show you, the app assembler part. So the Excel file, it has come into this, these are the Excel sheets that I have. And say, for example, I have a role and department, and in the event coordinator, I have mapped the role and department. So it has automatically understood the relationship, which is where you can see the word lookup. This is actually called as lookup. That is the relationship. It's looking up for the value from the department table, and it has automatically taken the application. Okay, and once you can, you have various ways to actually represent a particular component. Say, for example, if I have an address, I can split it, I can create it, and this becomes like a line item, right? In a particular form, you want to have multiple line items to be entered. I can convert one particular thing into a line item itself directly as a one-to-many relationship. How do I do it? Just make it, we call it as a subform. Just call it as a subform and relate the fields, because AI is trying, the app assembler or the algorithm is going to look at the value, the string value, and consider it as a, so let's say create. So from a legacy data or any data that you have in sheets, multiple sheets, how you have your application up and running. So this is one such application that you can just create with the data that is there. That's it. So the algorithm inside the framework automatically takes the possibilities of how to build a dashboard, what theme can be set for an application. And also, as I was telling you, see, it has created multiple reports based on what kind of, based on venue, then based on the list report, then you can see based on the, one more thing is about this subform, which I was talking to you. See, you can keep adding records. So actually, I didn't have anybody to sit and build something like this. Just few instructions and few clicks, you get to know how to get a quick application ready, up and running. So with a sample data, this is not the AI. This part alone is called as the app assembler. This is the smart assembler, the default algorithm that is running in our interface, which is doing the job. The rest which you saw is all an AI. So also the one last thing is the URL. I was telling you from the URL how you can build an application. So I have this URL with me. I just paste this URL and just, yeah. See, this helps when you go to a customer's place actually, because they will have their website. They say, I want an application automation to be done for this. See, it has recognized the possibilities from that URL. This NS is actually a transport URL, transport app, which is used in Netherlands. So it has recognized it is going to be a transport application. And you can add your own custom solutions to it. You can say, I want the customers to be integrated with Zoho CRM. Yeah, it will do that.
Can I see the prompt somewhere, the code behind that?
No, that's what is encapsulation. That's the job of the... I could run the show for 20 minutes because of those encapsulation layers. Yeah. 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 So I think we are coming to an end of this AI. Thank you.
Awesome. Can you maybe show, I sometimes have customers who don't have the imagination to build something, and one thing, we have record sets in the CRM that are 15 years old. Please show me all the emails of the customers that have spaces in it, before, after, or have a broken
Yes.
email.
So
Could you show some of the templates examples so that clients or product managers just browse and, oh, that's that's actually a good way to.
Because that becomes as part of Zia work or the AI work in a particular solution like Mail, Zoho Mail, because we have
Yeah,
multiple
you
things.
already have that.
Yes, we
Okay.
have it as part of it. So the Zia part is there. The Zia is actually implemented across all the products.
Okay, so what are some examples?
This is like a platform as a service above which you build out of the box SaaS.
Okay.
So the Zoho Creator is more focused on you building your own custom solutions as a SaaS over a PaaS, platform as a service.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
More questions? Do you want me to clip it?
No, I can hold it. Yeah, that's good. It's in the Zoho server. Yes, that is, we have our data center. I think in our previous session we were talking about data centers. So, for example, you create an account in EUDC, in Europe. So, all the data that you feed in to the application will get stored in EU data centers. So, and it also depends upon whether you are creating a solution for customers in the US, then your account would be a .com account. That means all the data will be stored in the US data center. So, mostly when you try to log in with your laptop in this location, in Europe location, by default it will say your data is going to be stored in EUDC. So your data is well preserved in EUDC in the Zoho service. It is not elsewhere. It's an application where you can use it for Android, you can use it for iPhones, because we have something called that's a topic by itself which we call as mobile SDK, which we have in our low code creator. You know what happens is, say for example, I build an application in browser like this quickly, okay, and there is a way by which I can actually download that application as my mobile app, where I will say I'm choosing asset management, whether you wanted it as an organization user app or as a portal app. So there are two ways, right? Normally we give it for the customers. So we choose a portal app and you choose the platform. What for? Whether you want to put it in the Apple Store or want to put it in the Google Store. Pardon me? Sorry. Yes. When it comes to Android, yeah, it's not good to say that as a developer. It's easy to get the APK files and just pass it on and ask somebody to install, but still there will be a security question asked that there is going to be an unknown app that you're trying to install. Do you want to proceed? But iOS doesn't allow you to do that. iOS really needs a complete security process to be run through. Otherwise, it won't even allow us to put it inside the Apple Store itself. It has got a lot of questions. Even with the Play Store, this happens. Like when we are trying to upload our application in, say, Play Store, there are few policies that we should have gone through. And there will be a review team from the Play Store side or the Google Store. What they will do, they will review our app, whether it is understood, it is actually following the regulations that we have mentioned with the policies. If so, then it will say, okay, it will put a checklist. You have gone through this policy well. We have gone through this policy well. We have reviewed your app. And now it is good to go to be uploaded in our store. So there are ways which has to undergo the security and privacy checks, reviews, and then it will be stored inside the stores. Yeah, we do have a pricing based on plan. Like you have something called a basic plan, you have something called a premium plan and enterprise plan. So depending upon the number of users, everything is based on the user licenses. So if you take if you want to build a mid-sized good application, premium plan itself supports almost all the features. But if you feel like it's going to be an enterprise solution where more number of users are involved and you want to have a dedicated portal, a rebranding to be done for the customer portal, you want that level of customization, we have a plan called the enterprise plan where all that will be supported. And you can generally search Zoho Creator, Creator. This will give you all the features. So what all features are there? What is the pricing per user, per month, or annually you want it? How do you want it to be built? So you can choose based on your requirement. So you just go through, you see all the possible components supported as part of our product. So you just see which meets your requirement and you can pick the plan accordingly. No. User is a company who's actually owning the account. Yes. The end users will be the portal users. So you have number of portal users. By default, we just give 3 in a basic plan because we wanted people to really try it out. When you said we won't give even a single portal user, but we say we have a portal facility, they won't be able to try it out. So we have a sampling of giving 3 users in a very basic plan. But as you go for a better plan, the number of portal users count will be more. So those will be the end users. But when we talk about the licensing users that you see on the top, it is to do with the organization users or the internal stakeholders who own the company, who build the solution. Yeah, welcome. Organization users in your company, okay. You can, when you say 100 users, you can as well go for the enterprise plan because enterprise plan always starts with, say if you have 11 users, you are eligible for enterprise plan. Because since you're saying you have 100 users, end users, the portal users, huh? Okay. So when it comes to the portal users, you can as well see it, wait a minute. Yeah. So, he's here. See portal, this is permission set. No, we give it as an add-on actually. It comes as add-on. See, if you just see, up to 250 portal users, the pricing will be 100 euros per month. Something like, you can pick the range. So depending upon your portal user range, you will get the pricing. And as you go for the annual billing, all right, the pricing would be more reasonable. Yeah. So it becomes an add-on, actually. Yes. See, what happens is in Creator, what I showed you was just small AI capability. Yeah, because that is now the phase of the market. That's the reason why today's meeting is more to do with the AI. But if you ask me, it will be good if you can come for the workshop. You will see the real beauty of the Creator where you just don't do the low coding. You have the capability to extend your skill of doing a pro coding. Like we have the widget support where you can bring in any kind of scripting model. It can be React, it can be vanilla model, it can be anything that you wanted. You can build a complete widget, which is acting as a front end, and Creator will be acting as a back end. Your data is in Creator, your front end is your widget. So we don't stop there alone. We just slightly extend the business logic, the middleware part of it, using Java and Node.js. So we do have that capability as well. But again, since it is all part of this framework, again, we'll have to look at the performance, correct? When we look at the performance, we'll have to see what will be the response time of a particular execution, what is the payload, return value, how much MB it can return. Keeping all that in mind, in general, with performance also in mind, we do have some kind of limitations. Yes, a boundaries limit that is set. This is how you have to build an application. So you can think of a little pro code way using this low code platform as well. We don't stop our hands for only the citizen developers. Developers are very much welcome to use this. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, and just to add to your to the response that Padma has given, you can even take a look at all the use cases that our customers have built. So there are actually 6 million plus apps built on Creator, and businesses have actually made an entire ERP for their company, like manufacturing, logistics. There are so many use cases. In fact, last year, I was at a customer site for one of the aviation companies. They manage their entire inventory management solution on Creator.
Actually, in Europe, the good example would be when we have to involve the customers to depend more on Zoho. Uh, when it comes to the accounting software, there are few taxing models, right, in Europe, which cannot be directly addressed. So I had one of the customer who built a complete accounting system or with the budget planning and everything using Zoho Creator. He built it so well, it meets all the Europe standards. That's how he built an application with Creator. You can go to that, you just access it from the top. Yeah.
So here you can actually see all the use cases. If you click on any of these, there are a lot of use cases. You can read the ebooks and there are videos of examples that you wanted, right?
I would say last question, but they will also be different. My question is more about the security aspect of Zoho Creator. How vulnerable are applications created by Zoho Creator, whether it's on the website, and then when they are compiled into iOS and Android platforms, when you are converting them? And also, if there are any vulnerabilities, what features does Zoho have to fix those bugs or vulnerabilities on security side?
We have a process called pan test when you want to check the vulnerability of an app. But normally, when the app is going to be really complex and it is going to involve really sensitive PIIs, and you want to know that at any point of time, because we don't just stop using Creator, integrating it with only other Zoho products, but it's also possible that we will integrate with third-party applications. That means the data is moving out of Zoho, going to elsewhere, and it is coming back to Zoho. So it is all in the air, in the internet. Again, the vulnerability plays a role there. So we have something called the pan test that we will take it up when the customer says, see, I have built a really complex application integrated with so many third party, along with the data that is coming in and out of your Zoho server. I just want to check anywhere at any point of time there is no data breach happening or data leak happening. Anybody can't just be handling the data. So for which they will request for a pan test, and we will run the complete pan test and generate a report and give it to them. They can see it in their eyes. So this is the percentage of vulnerability. We don't have vulnerability. We have very little vulnerability. Okay, if there is a vulnerability, how that can be addressed? We have a team which will advise technically, handle it this way so that you can avoid that vulnerability. So suggestions are also provided. So we do have EBS or solutions team for enterprise customers who will ask for such tests. So we do have that option. Yeah.
Then thanks again, Padma.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I know it's very difficult after work, but still happy to have such questions. Yeah.
Really, thank you for all the insights and for coming to Hamburg today. Also for bringing gifts. You probably already saw on your seats, and socks and a really cool gadget like a tool that you can use for everything.
Actually, he can explain the purpose of the other thing. Not the socks, but the other thing. Because I was
Not
actually
right here.
amazed.
Maybe after the recording is over.
Also, we have some snacks and drinks left over, and feel free to stay a little longer, connect with each other, ask more questions, of course, and thanks for joining.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Have a nice evening.